This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.
Hello and welcome back to the LCTV News and a brand new month. The groundhog may be on the side of winter, but that doesn't mean events will be slowing down anytime soon. News this week comes from all parts of the community, from the schools to the state. As we close in on 2 weeks until tournament season, Lynn teams are looking to clinch those final playoff berths. Here's the news for Friday, February 7th, 2025. Police arrested Eric Jermaine Pena, 25 of Lynn, for the murder of 46-year-old Crazy Buzzy's owner, Ilias Marivos. He was found in his home after family members had called for a wellness check. According to Essex County District Attorney Paul Tucker, investigators developed probable cause to arrest Jermaine Pena for the murder of Marivos. The 25-year-old was arraigned in Lynn District Court on February 6th. Where his attorney, Michael Phelan, stated that his client was pleading not guilty. Due to the nature of the accused offense, Jermaine Pena will be held without bail, and the police report was impounded as the case is ongoing. To impound a report means legally restricting public access to it, so minimal information is available at this time. The next hearing date is set for March 6th. Last week reported on Zenita Barrera, an 18-year-old Lynner, who was arrested and charged with assault and battery before being apprehended by Immigration and Customs Enforcement on January 27th. As of the afternoon of the 31st, Barrera has been released from ICE custody and will be placed in the Essex County District Attorney's Youthful Diversion Program. This is a program for first-time, nonviolent juvenile offenders, offering counseling, educational services, community service, and reinstitution instead of going to court. According to Essex County DA Paul Tucker, there were immediate concerns surrounding Barrera's situation. Quote, "This morning my office made the determination to dismiss the charges and bring back the opportunity for her to go into diversion, which we will do the first of the month. As of this afternoon, she has been released from ICE custody and reunited with her mother," end quote. Mayor Nicholson added to this sentiment, stating that, quote, "If ICE's intent is to target violent offenders who put their community at risk, people like Zendia should not be detained," end quote. LPS is now working to get Barrera back into the school setting. If you saw any news these past few weeks, you know about the California wildfires. Videos of first responders fighting flames that left thousands homeless and leveled entire neighborhoods. But out of this destruction, there have also been countless humanitarian stories of people rising up to help their neighbors, including right here in this city. Lynn natives Anthony Johnson and Ed Wallace have teamed up with Rhode Islander Eddie Duvall to collect donations for fire victims. And on February 11th, they will pack them up in a rental and drive them to California themselves. They are asking for donations of new clothing, hygiene items, footwear, baby clothing and products, baby food, bottled water, and canned goods. Anyone wishing to donate can contact Johnson directly at 781-254-3472 to schedule a time for a pickup. Every item can make a significant difference. For the third year in a row, the North Shore Juneteenth Association added to their Black Excellence display in City Hall. featuring both past and present honorees who exemplify excellence in how they contribute to the community.
Black Americans and those of the African diaspora are the direct beneficiaries of our ancestors' unbreakable will to survive and resist. It's easy to view history as a collection of separate narratives, separate stories of people, events, and eras. But the history of Black Americans is inextricably woven into the very fabric of this nation.
Given the recent conversations being had concerning DEI, I imagine that someone somewhere, they're asking you, why is recognizing local Black excellence important or necessary? Why is organizing important and necessary? It builds power. And for some of us, that means building equity.
Throughout the years, Black Americans have been at the forefront of every major social cultural movement in this nation. From the Civil War, women's rights, the Civil Rights Movement, the LGBTQ+ movement, and many more. Figures like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, and countless unsung heroes helped to transform America into a more just society, pushing for voting rights, equal education, and an end to segregation.
Despite the odds, we must act on the courage of our story and continue our journey as leaders and as activists who paved the way for all of us in one city we call Lynn, our home.
Black History is not just a month of celebration in February. It is a history that belongs to all of us, for it is woven into every story told in the United States itself. To be American is to be shaped by the experiences, voices, and contributions of Black Americans. When we celebrate Black history, we celebrate the very essence of what makes this nation unique, a commitment to becoming a more just, more equitable, and more inclusive society every single day.
And true to our native land.
Thank you so much.
Education officials were at Classical High last Tuesday the 4th to kick off a new statewide initiative, educating high school students on financial aid opportunities. The Higher Education Financial Aid Roadshow brought former Lynn Superintendent and current Education Secretary Dr. Patrick Tutwiler and Higher Education Commissioner Noah Ortega back to the city, where they discussed state and federal resources available to high school students, such as FAFSA and free community college programs, so students can continue their education without worrying about the financial strain. This is all part of a larger initiative by the Healy-Driscoll administration to increase access to higher education, break intergenerational cycles of poverty, and improve the overall economy. In the last 2 years, the amount of available state financial aid has doubled, now totaling $400 million. According to Tutwiler, despite this increase in funding, FAFSA applications have actually declined recently, so they are making the rounds to educate students. For the 3rd year, the Lynn Museum Arts Center is doing their calendar raffle, taking place every day in March. Every day a winner is pulled and receives prizes, such as a gift card to April's, a lottery basket, a free massage, and more. Winning tickets will also be put back in contention, so it is possible to win multiple times. Calendars are $10 for one or 3 for $20, with all proceeds benefiting the museum. Participants will also receive a free pass to the museum with every purchase. If interested, calendars can be purchased in person or by calling 781-580-6200. The Phoenix Food Hub is offering SNAP counseling for anyone who needs it. Available by appointment only between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays through Thursdays at Greater Lynn Senior Services, 8 Silsby Street. Counseling services include guidance to determine your eligibility for SNAP, assistance in completing your SNAP application accurately, help uploading any necessary documents, as well as step-by-step support to set up your Department of Transitional Assistance account. To learn more or schedule an appointment, contact SNAP counselor Lima S. at GLIS. On a lighter note, LCTV covered the 2024 Arts and Cultural Fest, crossing 5 locations all around the city. So we decided to throw it back to August for another look.
The 2024 Lynn Arts and Culture Festival featured activities across several locations around downtown Lynn, all connected via a free trolley. The first stop of the day for the LCTV crew was High Rock Tower.
Downstairs we have an ice cream truck, we have glitter tattoos as well, so people can get off the trolley and enjoy those downstairs. And then for those that want to have a bit of an adventure, they can come up inside the tower and see the inside of the tower, which has nice viewing platforms, as well as this nice 12-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. We also have a solar telescope attached to it, and so with both of these telescopes we're looking at sunspots.
After High Rock, we jumped on the trolley, which featured free music, to head down to Central Square. There we had many choices of what to do next, but walked past art on the traffic island to Raw Artworks, where they were showing off artwork from their students and inviting everyone to share their dreams.
We are excited to be able to invite people to do some creative dreaming with us. They're being invited to help us create a coloring page that expresses all of the dreams that people have for the city of Lynn. This is the Dream Portal. The idea is that folks can step inside and share a dream that they have for the city of Lynn. Lynn is changing a lot right now, and we want folks' dreams and voices to be a part of shaping that change.
After Raw, we went down to the studios at the Lynn Museum Arts Center to check out their latest exhibit and art making.
Today at the galleries at Lynn Arts, we are your local lemonade stand during the Lynn Arts and Culture Festival. We got 2 flavors. This is actually the last week of our Lore of the Local exhibition, which is dedicated to all the sights, sounds of the North Shore, predominantly the Lynn area. It's a great way to get familiar with the city of Lynn through art. We have our art bar set up behind us where people are walking in, grabbing art supplies, sitting down at a table and making some art that they can take home with them for the day.
Speaking of making art, Beyond Walls has had artists creating murals yet again this year.
Our mission is to activate public spaces to strengthen communities. But what we're most known for and renowned for is putting up really large-scale epic pieces of street art. So the tours today are part of what Beyond Walls does, which is offering tours to the public and tours to youth groups of the street art of the city that we've been installing since 2017, of not just the existing artwork, but some of the new artwork that's actually underway here in the city. We point out and talk about the other art and cultural establishments that are here in the city that make the city so great.
Across from one of the new murals in Central Square was the Lynn Museum, our last stop of the day. Here, the museum was open with free admission and featured an art fair in the connecting park.
Welcome to the museum here at 590 Washington Street. Today we are open as part of the Lynn Arts and Culture Festival, as well as our second Saturday series. So we are free and open today for folks to explore our gallery spaces. We also have an art making activity for families and anyone that wants to participate. And then if you happen to wander into our park, we're hosting a vendor fair organized by Lynn Main Streets. So great place to buy locally made goods. It's always a highlight for the summer. So we're a longtime partner, and we're glad that we can continue to support this effort. A happy Lynn Arts and Culture Festival, and we'll see you next summer.
Lynn Main Street's plans to hold this event every year in early August, so keep your eyes peeled next summer for the next installment.
Lynn Tech's defense suffocated the Academy of Notre Dame last Friday night for their 11th win on the year. The Tigers held the visiting Lancers to just 10 points in the first half, much to the delight of the crowd and their coach. By halftime, the hosts were up 21-7, thanks to unselfish play and tight defense. Allison Morales nailed the defensive to offensive approach, jumping passing lanes and forcing turnovers, resulting in open layups and breakaway points for Tech. 1,000-point scorer Angeliz Begum registered 22 more in the Tigers' 45-28 victory. Glasgow had a similar result, taking down neighborhood house charter school Dorchester by 20 points, 54-34 at home. Divine Egbuda paved the way with a double-double, 17 points and 22 rebounds. They followed this with a tight 32-29 loss to Triton on the 4th. 38-29 ball game. Sound familiar? It should if you're a Spartans fan. The girls' team took down Dartmouth over the weekend. In a game where they struggled offensively, defense gave them just enough momentum to pull out the win. They continued this momentum, completing a season sweep of arch-rival Bishop Fenwick for the 5th time in 6 seasons. In a 52-41 final, Bella Awumi and Juliana Conte led the charge with 34 total points. Defense was again the key, keeping the Spartans in the game until their offense got going in the second half. With this win, they are 16-2 overall, retaining the top seed in Division III MIAA standings. While the English girls halted a 2-game skid with a decisive 47-15 victory against Salem the night of the 3rd. As a team, they got off to a quick start, scoring 15 unanswered points to begin the game, growing this to a 31-10 lead by halftime. Freshman Jalian Concepcion was all over the court, contributing 18. She scored a game-high 21 points while knocking down 5 threes. Turnovers played a large role, as the Bulldogs forced several, never allowing the Witches to find any rhythm on offense. They also upped their record to 9-7, just 1 win shy of qualifying for the postseason, which remains their overarching goal. On the boys' side, Lynn Tech went on the road and held off Shawsheen Tech 66-59 on January 31st. 4 Tigers registered double-digit nights. The 14th-ranked Tigers then defended their home court against inner-city rival and 10th-seeded Kip by a score of 61-50. It became a game of runs, as Tech took an 18-7 lead by the end of 1, but the Panthers made it only a 6-point deficit by the half. Tied 42-42 going into the final quarter, Brandon Antoine drilled 2 threes in a row, swinging the momentum back into the host's favor. After his 3rd three, Giovanni Jean made several key plays to finish the game with 19 points and 10 rebounds. His 7-7 Tigers are now on a 5-game winning streak. Tied 27-27 at the half, English fell just short, losing to Newton South 63-55 last Friday. While the St. Mary's boys are making it look easy, a new month but the same result for the Spartans, who dominated Mommy 73-56. When you have someone like J.J. Martinez score 40 points single-handedly, the results tend to end in your favor for the top-ranked team in Division I MIAA power rankings. They remain perfect at 17-0, handling Bishop Fenwick 69-42 on the road the night of the 4th. The St. Mary's girls and boys hockey teams went up against Bishop Fian over the weekend. No home ice proved no obstacle for the boys as they captured a 2-0 victory. Cam McGonigal and Evan Toto were the goal scorers for St. Mary's. Their girls team faltered, dropping their game 1-0. But in non-league action, they bounced back, earning a 4-0 shutout over Westford Academy. Despite a 35-15 record, the Celtics are on the outside looking into the top spot in the Eastern Conference, currently held by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Boston toppled the Philadelphia 76ers on the 2nd, overcoming a 17-point halftime deficit for the eventual 118-110 victory. The Seas came out of the half outscoring the 76ers by 12 points in the fourth quarter alone, behind double-double performances by Jaylen Brown with 21 points and 10 rebounds, and Jason Tatum netting 35 points and 11 rebounds. They actually bested the previously mentioned Cavaliers 112-105 to pull within 4.5 games of first place. The core four of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Kristaps Porzingis combined for 77 of those points themselves. While the Bees are now 5 games over 500 after a 3-0 shutout of the Minnesota Wild on the 4th. Charlie McAvoy scored once, leading shots on goal with 4 to support a 35 same night by Jeremy Swayman. Circling back to an earlier topic, the Lynn Museum Arts Center were our guests this week to shed light on their rebranding effort, including an adjustment to their official name, the PR work behind the scenes, and what they are most looking forward to entering 2025. Hello and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Dani Vittori, and today we have on 2 guests from the Lynn Museum. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So, Donecca, I know you've been on before, but Marky, you are brand new, so welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah. So, I'm just going to dive right in with the Lynn Museum, and I will ask, first of all, Marky, you are a very new board member, so what really convinced you to join?
Yeah, I mean, so I grew up in Lynn my whole life. I've always been passionate about Lynn, about the people, the community, and how so many different communities come together. And, you know, I was always familiar with the Lynn Museum, but really got more familiar with it. And I just wanted to get involved, you know, and see how I could help kind of promote this new modern museum experience that Donecca is probably going to talk about. But, you know, definitely just wanted to get involved and do my part. Like I said, I've always been passionate about Lynn, so just wanted to get involved.
And it's been awesome to have Marky aboard. I would say myself as a younger Linner, are we younger Linners?
Yeah, we're younger.
I think compared to like the overall age of our board. So it's just nice to have somebody that has fresh perspectives. And I would say, you know, appeals to a broader demographic, and I think really sees the vision of where we're going as an organization.
Yeah.
And you also just went through a whole rebranding, changed the name slightly to Lynn Museum Arts Center.
Yes. Correct.
And what brought on that change?
So some people might know back in 2014 we merged with the Lynn Arts organization. So for a period of time we were Lynn Museum / Lynn Arts. I know it's nice to have Lynn twice in your title. And so, you know, last year 2024 we had just come off the heels of our 125th anniversary campaign, which we kicked off in 2022. And so 2024 was that 10-year anniversary of the merger of these two organizations. And it just felt like a ripe opportunity to really launch into who we are today. You know, we do appreciate our history, you know, starting out as the Lynn Historical Society, then Lynn Museum and Historical Society, then Lynn Museum, Lynn Arts, and now we're here at Lynn Museum and Arts Center, really leaning into the fact that we are a cultural campus with our property at 590 Washington Street, the museum, and then 25 Exchange Street, which is now the studios.
Yes, making sure both are represented.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just add to that, you know, kind of exactly what Donecca said. It's about kind of bridging our past with our present and where we're going. You know, the arts is such a great way to involve the younger demographics, to your point. You know, they care about the history of Lynn, but maybe not as much as some of the people who've been around Lynn for a long time. So I think it's really about that. And we wanted to also bring in, like, you'll see there's more blues and things like that in our color palette. We wanted to bring in, like, where we are in Lynn, you know? Like, we're known for so many things at Lynn, but we want to be known for more things like our outdoor spaces and our arts and things like that. So we tried to modernize the brand a little bit while still, you know, paying tribute to obviously where we came from, because that's such an important part of who we are.
And I want to make sure that people realize that we have not forgot our origin story. You know, the collection is very much part of our mission still today. It's how we began our organization. It's still something that we're actively working towards maintaining and preserving. So I know change can be difficult for some, but I feel like the direction that we're headed in as an organization is really just, we're all on the same page, we're ready to carve a path forward, and I think we can all understand that expanding our impact to include both history, arts, the community, the overall culture of Lynn is just a fantastic way to forge this new path and this new identity for us.
And you offer such an extensive list of programming and events. You just saw the pictures, the Final Fridays, towards the Lynn Woods, just so many of those places. So what are kind of the plans going into 2025? Are there any new ones? Are there ones you're going to be keeping?
Yes, absolutely. So we actually kicked things off last week. Folks might know that the museum is closed to the public right now. We usually close for a month to refresh some of our permanent galleries and refresh our textiles. But we had a fabulous program on Wednesday. It was a conversation with our collections manager, Christopher Locke, and a curator, George Schwartz, over at the Peabody Essex Museum on the lore of Dungeon Rock. And we had a great turnout. Almost 80 people showed up. And then we had the opportunity to partner with the city's Starry Night program, and 15 folks, including myself, ventured up to High Rock in the freezing cold and got to go head up to the observatory, and it was really wonderful. And we have more lectures and conversation programs, I should say, scheduled for the year. But we're headed into February. We have a program next week with Greenbelt next Wednesday on light pollution. We're hosting a Lunar New Year market with Lucky Not Arts on Saturday, February 8th. We have a ton of programming for school vacation week. And then the North Shore NAACP is also using our space for their second annual symposium on the 22nd.
Wow.
I think what you might have just got from that is there's something for something for everyone, you know? Like there really is. No matter what you're passionate about or what you're interested in, there's going to be some sort of programming for you. Not everyone is going to be interested in Dungeon Rock, although I'm very sad I missed that. You know, and not everyone is going to be interested in the Final Fridays, right? But there's something for everyone, I feel like, because we are such a diverse community, we have to have that diverse programming.
Mm-hmm. And I would say for our signature programs, Final Fridays will return again for, I think, our 6th or 7th season, which doesn't feel possible, but that's coming back. Of course, we have our monthly Mesa series, which is still on Zoom, but we are trying to coordinate on how to bring it back in person. That's something that we're working on with one of our new volunteers. So, you know, our tried and true programs are continuing in 2025, but we're also trying to add more to appeal to a wider audience. And of course, you know, with our members and our donors, they fill out surveys and they tell us what they want. So we're really trying to make sure that we offer that too.
And you definitely do that, I know. I mean, I often go and cover events, and I realize I end up staying for longer because I go, I'm so interested in this. My work's done. I just want to stay and experience this. So you definitely do well in that respect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. And I know another very big, exciting piece of news is the Social Innovation Forum's Innovator Accelerator Program.
It is a mouthful. It is a lot.
So that was a big deal that you got that on your first go-around, so would you be able to explain what that is to our audience?
Yes. So this is a long-standing program. There have actually been other organizations in Lynn that have participated, including Raw Artworks, Leap for Education. So this opportunity is really a capacity-building initiative. They work with different organizations, I would say across like the greater Boston area, and they're sort of venturing into the North Shore as well, to really support organizations that are doing really great work that could use the support of key messaging, introducing people to their donor network. So I'm actively in our cohort program. La Vida Scholars, our neighbor over on Monroe Street, they're also in the program with us this year, which is really exciting. So we were accepted on the arts track, appreciating the work that we do for the arts and culture community. So we have a pitch that's happening in May that we're working towards right now. And then we'll also get one-on-one coaching, and we'll get to continue to learn from the SIF network.
Wow.
Yeah, and big kudos and props really go to Donecca for that. There's no one more dedicated to advancing our mission and our vision than Donecca, and she's responsible for applying for these grants and these types of programs and the ones that are the right fit for us, and making sure they see why we are deserving of these types of opportunities. So it's a really, really incredible opportunity that we're excited about.
Thank you.
And how long is this grant go for? Is it a year, 2 years?
It's 2 years,
Okay.
so it's a 2-year commitment. So right now I have like monthly meetings with my cohort. We also are working with a consultant ahead of our pitch in May, and then we'll continue monthly convenings. And then next year we sort of phase into the alumni portion. We'll continue to learn together, I would say a little less frequently than monthly meetings. But we're, again, just super excited for this opportunity and that we were able to get it in our first go round, because it's pretty rare. So we must be doing something right.
I would say so. That's wicked impressive. And you're talking about the networking, all the pieces of it. Do you have any specific goals in mind? Something that you really want to make sure you get out of it over the next 2 years?
I think just learning from our peers, truly. For us, we're sort of this small hidden gem on the North Shore, and so it's really growing our network of supporters so that people really understand the impact and the mission that we have, and how we're really meeting multiple needs of the community. Our organization is so layered, which I recognize can be complicated to talk about, but it also means that we're doing so much that people can appreciate and really feel proud and confident to support. So that's what I'm really hoping towards, is just continuing to learn, grow our supporter network, and really just get the message out about Lynn Museum and Arts Center.
Absolutely.
But the complexity of it also is a strength of yours too, because you are able to cover such a large demographic, so many interests as well, which you can see with all of your programming that you do.
Yes.
And I do have to wrap up in a moment, but was there anything else that I hadn't touched upon, any other programs, initiatives, anything that you wanted to mention?
Well, I would say shamelessly, check out our website, lynnmuseum.org. I should say that into the camera. Check out our website, lynnmuseum.org. Our calendar is actively being updated with what's coming up in the next few months. And then, of course, head to the studios page. That's where we list all of our building community members at 25 Exchange Street. I know Lynn Music Foundation, sorry, we're talking about the museum, that's just front of mind. Lynn Music Foundation, they have some great performances and showcases and events coming up. Galleries at Lynn Arts, they lease our 2 gallery spaces. I know they have some shows coming up. Of course, Cultural Latina Dance Academy. So we're just really fortunate that we have this campus that is so active and is so vibrant. So I just encourage, people that haven't been or people that would like to return and learn more, come and find us.
Yeah, absolutely. And just stop by. Like you said, we have this really cool campus. When we're open, it's a great time to just stop by and learn a little bit more about the museum, about Lynn Arts and all of that. So there's lots of programming that you can come to, but also just, check it out. It's a good kind of gateway to how you can get involved in different things around Lynn and at the museum.
Yes, so the museum officially reopens next Wednesday, February 5th at 3 p.m. So come on by, and if you want to stay for the lecture on light pollution, it's an extra bonus, I guess.
I'll be there.
And you answered my final question for me, so thank you.
Yes, there we go.
You can tell you're excited. I'm wicked excited to see what you have coming into this new year. And I just want to thank you both again so much for coming on to share with our audience.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much, Dani.
Of course, great. Anytime. And once again, I'm Dani Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we will see you next week with more guests. Nagley Lynn is launching a BU program at Raw Artworks. Taking place from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., the second Monday of each month, their kickoff event will be February 10th. BU is a program for youth aged 11 to 17, offering a variety of art activities, peer support, and a safe space for LGBTQ+ youth to express themselves. Taking place at 37 Central Street, Lynn, and sponsored by the North Shore Alliance of LGBTQ Youth. The third annual Black History Fashion Show will take place from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Lynn Senior Center on February 12th. Clear the runway to witness fashions from Africa, the islands, and the United States. Come down to see a whole host of cultures being represented through fashion. Then dance the night away at V for Vault, an electronic dance night Dance the night away at V for Vault, an electronic dance music Valentine's event at the Vault Theater on Friday, February 14th. Whether you're with your Valentine, friends, or flying solo, come for an electrifying night spanning genres such as bass, club, breaks D&B, and 140. Tickets are $10 for the early bird, $12 for general admission, and $15 at the door. Doors open at 7 p.m. for this event running until 1 a.m. They may be able to run until then, but I still rely on some sleep to function. So with that, we wrap up the news for this week. As always, stay up to date on events such as ones listed above and all happenings in our community calendar and news section by going to lyntv.org. If you prefer shorter blurbs and pictures, then @Lynn Community TV is the place for you. Wanted to see an event but unable to attend? We have you covered at Lynn Community Television on YouTube. I'm Dani Vittori, this is the LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.